I'm Alex Mercer.
Sex.
They call me a monster, a murderer, a terrorist.
Sex.
Alright, so I'm gonna start this video off with a story. Y'all better get comfy for a minute. So 7 years ago, holy shit, I found this video called Entering a Dead Fandom Be Like. And it's where a quirky fangirl enters a dead fandom and nobody's there.
No, this can't be right. I need more content. I can't just use the canon content by itself. I need more content.
My point is, if this girl were into video games, she'd probably kill herself.
Max might have copper wiring to reroute your fear of pain.
There are so many dead franchises and dead studios out there. One of the big ones being Radical Entertainment. You might not know these guys by name, but you for sure know the games they made. For example, The Simpsons Hit and Run, the open world Simpsons GTA clone. Everyone's talked about it, everyone knows it, everyone loves it, and to this day, the game still has a massive following. They also made The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, and then 1 year after that, Scarface The World Is Yours released, which by the way, was their best game from this era. You can literally sell a cocaine in it on the street. But TLDR, Radical had a knack for making really good open world games, with a perfectly trashy chaos and addictive gameplay loops. But for this video, The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction is the more relevant title, as going into the 7th generation of consoles, and following the cancellation of a Scarface The World Is Yours sequel, god fucking damn it, Radical's open world Hulk game with surprisingly in-depth movement, its open world sandbox, and very satisfying destruction proved to be a very engaging foundation. So when it came to making a new Xbox 360 game, one that this time wouldn't be a licensed game, but rather a new original IP, making a spiritual successor to The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction was a perfect choice. So while meanwhile their owner was being bought by Activision, Radical was doing the impossible. They took their Hulk game, a game filled with destruction, and made it ultra fucking edgy. Like, slit my wrists and black my eyes and call me Jason Bourne. Holy shit. This game came out in 2009, and yeah, I can tell. And you know what? Radical really did it. It was delayed by like 2 years, but hey, they did it. Prototype is one of the craziest video games ever made, and I want to talk about it. That's all I want to do today, okay?
Walk through the crib, but not make a peep. If you run from the clip, we ain't shooting that feet. Don't want a case, so I cover my face. My partner got paid, he hunting all the beats.
So, what is a prototype exactly? Well, as mentioned, it is an edgy open-world superhero game. And look, it wasn't the only one from this era. You had Spider-Man Web of Shadows, one of the funniest video games ever made. Gotcha. You also, of course, had Infamous, one of the many PS3 games Sony won't remaster because it isn't The Last of Us. So, what makes a Prototype stand out from this era of edgy, open-world superhero games? Especially when Web of Shadows and Infamous both had morality systems, where Prototype, meanwhile, has none of that shit. Well, for one thing, an M rating. You play as Shadow the Hedgehog.
My name is Alex Mercer.
You have amnesia. You also have weird body horror superpowers. And it's your job to find the truth, that the US government is indeed bad. The plot is just Shadow the Hedgehog, so in other words, it's just the Bourne identity. Look at these cutscenes, man. The camera is trembling and shaking. I'm shocked the game isn't titled Paul Greengrass Pro Cinematographer or some shit. The only thing missing is a Moby song at this point. Unfortunately, the story itself is, not good. The whole game is literally, things just to kinda happen. The game opens with Alex Mercer being edgy and brooding.
They call me a killer, a monster, a terrorist. I'm all of these things.
Do you understand me? Oh. Just like everyone in my life, they just leave.
By the way, to bring up the Hulk again, it's also very funny how much Alex Mercer talks like Ultimate Destruction Bruce Banner. Like, Radical is just straight up a shameless here, man.
My name is Alex Mercer. I'm the reason for all of this.
My name is Bruce Banner, and this is me. I did this to myself.
This is Frank Hayden. Welcome to my nightmare.
There's then a big chaotic opening sequence in Times Square, only for the game to flash back 3 weeks earlier, where Alex Mercer then wakes up in a morgue. Also, the government is evil because they're killing people. Pretend to be shocked when you find out the government is furthermore evil throughout the game. He's then hunted down and he escapes and shit. He can jump high, run fast, destroy helicopters, and he can consume people and turn into them, all while also gaining a single plot-relevant memory from them. This helps him remember he has a sister named Dana Mercer, who is indeed a character in the game. I can tell you what happens to her, like she helps Alex Mercer, she gets kidnapped once later, and then he saves her, I think. But when he does save her, she's unconscious but alive, so that means they don't have to write about her anymore. There's like a doctor guy, he does some stuff, I think. There's also like an ex-girlfriend Alex Mercer has in the game. However, like my real-life ex-girlfriend, she betrays Alex off-screen, like how my ex broke up with me over text one time.
I miss you, Juice WRLD. I miss you, XXX Tentacion. You made the world so bright. Now it's time to say goodbye.
However, if you complete some certain side quests in the game, you get a 5-second cutscene where Alex Mercer kills her, and yeah. Through all these characters, it's revealed that a virus is being made by the government, and all these military guys want to blow up Manhattan with a giant nuclear bomb. There's also giant monsters somewhere in there, I guess. There's also this Cross character who is betraying Alex, but then works with Alex, then betrays him again. There's a girl named Elizabeth Green who's built up to be the antagonist, but dies halfway through the game. Also, turns out Alex Mercer isn't Alex Mercer, but the virus who thinks it's Alex Mercer, while the real Alex Mercer is the guy who launched the virus onto New York City. And assuming you haven't skipped a half the cutscenes, you're just sitting there going, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, if we're talking video games as art, this is not an example you would use. It's an absolutely incoherent mess of a narrative, but I will say the ending quote is kinda hard.
I looked for the truth. Found it. Didn't like it. Wish the hell I could forget it. What have I become? Something less than human, but also something more.
Thankfully, though, you aren't here for the story. You're here for the gameplay. Yeah, no, this is why I love Prototype. The gameplay is just a bonkers.
Hickory dickory dock. Put that cock in my box.
The big thing is, you get a bunch of powers, and a big old open world with it. Your hands can become a number of weapons, including giant rocks, a blade, claws. You have super speed and can run up walls and glide and shit. You can pick up heavy objects and throw them. You can hijack vehicles. You can disguise yourself as the enemy. Yeah, that's not something that happens in cutscenes. That's a mechanic. You can further upgrade Alex with the points you gain, too, either by finishing missions both side and main, or by just destroying shit. Further expanding your moveset, giving the player so much freedom. Whether it's the ability to elbow drop a fucking tank, or the ability to body surf on fucking human beings, dude, that's radical. There are some core moves required for missions, but other than that, the whole thing is, again, your oyster. How you upgrade Alex is overall up to you, leading to really fun experimentation. On top of that, the movement itself is just amazing.
Anybody got lube before I start dick riding? Like, actually.
I make sure to max out the parkour tab on every playthrough. Running up, down, across walls, being able to glide the way you do, just flying around and parkouring is fun enough on its own. But top this off with the game actually allowing you to be a freakish force of nature, and you get arguably the most fun superhero game in the whole genre. And sure, other games might be better, more polished experiences, but they also have to kind of hold themselves back, you know? Whether it's due to an age rating, the character you're playing as, or both. Thankfully, though, Prototype is not bound by that. You can argue that the rival series Infamous is a better made franchise, but there's no denying Prototype is way more fun. By the end of the game, you are doing just a crazy shit. Do you want to use your Venom tendril arm to attach to a still flying helicopter, and then hijack that helicopter, killing everyone on board and using it for yourself? You can elbow drop tanks, hijack tanks, and use them to blow up other tanks, and that's what I feel makes Prototype really special. It's the kind of video game that scratches a very unhinged itch, and carves its own identity within the superhero video game genre. Sadly, it's not really perfect though. For one thing, in spite of its great controls and a great chaos, the game is extremely janky. The actual Alex to enemy combat is not good. Fighting giant monsters is a genuine pain in the ass, because the depth the rest of the game provides doesn't really exist here. You just press the X button and get damaged a lot. I swear to God, the dodge roll doesn't actually work, and the bosses are some of the worst bosses I have ever experienced in any video game ever. I also think the actual missions in Prototype aren't very great at all. It's a kind of crazy how hard the open world gameplay carries this thing, because the actual story missions in the game leave a lot to be desired. There's very little actual sandbox freedom translated to the story missions, and as a result, you spend like 10 minutes in a tank because you're forced to for the mission. mission, or you're going on a stupid-ass wild goose chase for the mission, or you're scanning a dumbass water towers for the mission. It's like they didn't know what to actually do with the story missions of this game. I wish that freedom in the actual story missions was a priority, because what you actually get are a bunch of pretty boring missions in Prototype 1, surprisingly enough. The worst offender being when the game takes away your powers for like an hour of the game, so you're stuck with a bad pacing and a basic moveset for a good bit. It's a miracle then that the fun parts are so much fun, and overall make for a game that's great at least being pretty good. It's also a damn shame the story isn't very good, because there is kinda maybe something there. Once again, around this time, you had superhero games with morality systems coming out, except for Prototype, which didn't even bother whatsoever, which you would think would lead to a less engaging a video game, but in actuality, it's weirdly enough sometimes the opposite. Your powers have no rules or code attached to them, no morality choices or anything. And it turns out the destructive evil part of Prototype is the most fun part. And in a game where you regain health by eating random NPCs, the game as a result dehumanizes itself. You see the world like a superpowered nihilist would. So the question isn't if you had superpowers would you be good or evil, but rather how far would you go without dehumanizing yourself? What if Alex killing his ex wasn't a moment of gamer anti-hero catharsis, but rather Alex selfishly downward spiraling into playing God? What if that caused friction with Dana or Dr. Raglan? What if that last line of the game wasn't some badass melancholic emo bullshit quote, but rather a terrifying warning of what could happen if you pursue your own power fantasy? Funny enough, around the time of Prototype's development, certain members of Radical would leave and help found United Front Games, the developers of the incredibly underrated Sleeping Dogs, which does something similar to Prototype but much better. Long story short, there's no morality meter, but there is a triad meter and a cop meter. And where the triad meter is based on how brutal your moves are, doing brutal takedowns and shit, which is, by all means, the fun part of the game. The cop meter, meanwhile, is based around not killing random people, not crashing into too much shit, which in a GTA clone is not very fun to do. This characterizes the protagonist Wei Shen super well, as on the one hand, he's an undercover cop, working for people who are just as shady as the crime organization, breaking the cop rules like you are in gameplay. While on the other hand, there's the actual Triad organization, which unlike Prototype, actually has a very charismatic and enjoyable characters, people you actually get invested in, and eventually the line between undercover cop Wei Shen and a Triad Wei Shen begins blurring and bleeding into itself, creating way better ludonarrative harmony with the game's themes.
Strange to say it after all that's happened, but Hong Kong kind of feels like home.
Yeah. But which Hong Kong, officer?
So yeah, it's interesting. The devs learn from their mistakes, I guess. If only Prototype's power fantasy were a bit more deconstructive like that, you know? But overall, I still love Prototype 1, and it's a great time, even with all its jank and rough spots. Despite being completely totally different from their previous open-world outings, Radical's refinement and DNA is clearly on full display here. Similar to Hit and Run, Ultimate Destruction, and Scarface The World Is Yours, a Prototype is an open-world amusement park ride. Only now it just isn't a licensed one, so it's impressive it does nail the mark for the most part. At least where it counts, which is why Prototype has remained in my mind for years and years. However, as time passes and the cracks begin to form a bit more, it's hard to ignore all the areas Prototype does fall flat in. But that can be a good thing, as a good foundation can lead to a great follow-up. Prototype 2 is not a great follow-up. I mean, it's okay. It's not a bad game, but it's a really confusing one. Except you're not the confused one, the game is. The game is confused. Okay, look, this is a weird game. For one thing, I gotta talk about the context it was developed under. As a Prototype 2 wasn't originally a Prototype 2, but in fact, it was a movie tie-in game for Spider-Man 4. Senior environment and prop artist Wayne Dalton revealed this in a now-deleted ArtStation post. There's even a leaked build of it. Look at this, it's so cool. It's very obviously super early though and built off Prototype's assets. And of course, when the Spider-Man 4 movie project died, naturally the Spider-Man 4 video game couldn't really happen. So within around just 2.5 years, if even that, Radical had to turn their Spider-Man game into Prototype 2. So knowing that, yeah, Prototype 2 is impressive, but it's also disappointing. Prototype 2 is the definition of 1 step forwards, 2 steps backwards. Because for every refinement or improvement or attempt at improvement, there's either a brand new problem as a result, or a general downgrade from the original game, streamlining what wasn't already broken, making for a weird mixed bag thing. Take, for example, the narrative. Holy shit, what is this? So in Prototype 2, Alex Mercer is now the bad guy, and the main guy is a new character named James Heller, who some fucking is gonna call a DEI hire or something. Thankfully though, because I'm not fucking brain rotted by anti-woke politics, I can safely tell you that James Heller is not the problem with the story himself. In fact, on paper, I do kinda like him as a character. He has a little bit of that edginess that Alex Mercer had, but being a former army sergeant, he's more straightforward and tough than melancholic and emo. He's a really good follow-up to what Alex Mercer was in the first game, with similarities and differences in all the right ways. On top of that, James Heller isn't completely emotionally aloof like Alex was. In fact, the narrative itself is a revenge story. That's right, Neil. Fuck you. It's been done before. With James getting revenge on Alex for killing his family, James Heller is still gripping onto the things that make him human. So when a guy like that gets a Shadow the Hedgehog venom powers, in a sequel to the game where the previous main character said,
"When I close my eyes, I see the memories of 1,000 dead men screaming as I take their lives. Moments I'll relive forever. What have I become? Something less than human, but also something more."
that could open the door to something ideologically super interesting. Wow, these are all great ideas. What's the problem? Well, it's simple, really. The actual story is just fucking dog ass. First of all, that intellectual conflict I spent so long talking about is not in the game, because Alex Mercer is the most generic bad guy all of a sudden.
Can't you understand what I'm doing? Humanity is stagnant. Dying. I would give it one body, one mind.
You know, I actually think killing people is making the world a better place. Not you per se, you know, but just people in general. Yeah, no, I want to kill them. All of them.
It's not even explained why Alex Mercer became evil in the game. No, you gotta read some dumb-ass comic book to figure that one out.
Fucking bullshit.
Which, yeah, okay, in the first game, he wasn't exactly a good person either, but that's because he was an anti-hero, not fucking Thanos. Also, real quick, you might be asking, are the Prototype comics good? The answer is, what the fuck do you think?
No.
Similar to Prototype 1, things just kind of happen for the most part, with very little breathing room for any actual emotional, intimate moments or anything. It's at least more coherent, I'll give it that, but it's also just as underdeveloped. James Heller's family, for example, the game does not give us a chance to connect with them. You get like one dialogue exchange during an opening montage, and it's very trippy, and then it's just gone, just like that. You don't connect with anything. It's then later revealed that his daughter is alive the whole time, which would be super impactful if we knew anything about her. It's like the game dumped into Princess Peach in the last fucking third of the game.
Like Mario and Princess.
Emo fuck.
There's also a few other characters like Father Guerra, who is a priest. There's also the return of Dana Mercer, and both of these characters only exist to feed you missions throughout the game. Wow, impressive. They underdeveloped their characters twice. There's also other characters in the game who are, again, so underdeveloped and so not actually important at all that they're not worth bringing up. And on top of that, the dialogue, oh my god. I'm not kidding you here. It feels like a Vivzy Pop wrote this shit. Because the characters are either disgustingly on the nose or they're saying fuck.
What the fuck did you do to me?
Okay, ass fuck, knees on the line.
Fuck, fucking.
Fucking.
Fucking motherfucker.
Shut your fucking fuckhole, you fucking.
Fucking. Or after I skull, fuck you.
Fucking motherfucker.
How you like me now, you emo fuck?
I don't give a fuck what if it's some
Prototype 2 is what happens when you have great ideas for a narrative, but execute them so incredibly poorly. Because, like, I like James Heller conceptually. It's too bad he's written like a Vivzy Pop was hired on the team.
This kind of shit gets messy.
I like the part when he saves his daughter and then reaches out his hand, but then she sees the prototype tentacles on him and she gets scared of him. You see, now that's powerful. That's an extension of the last game. Or at least I would like it if it weren't at the fucking last minute of the game. I like the idea of Alex Mercer having an emo genocidal savior complex, but I don't want to read a shitty ass comic to figure out why.
What do we do now?
fuck, it's finally over.
What the fuck
I
was
don't
that,
know. I
huh?
just...
But what about that gameplay, though? Well, good news, it's not as disappointing as the story. The issue, though, is that Prototype 2 tries to streamline the Prototype gameplay, but once again, for every right decision, there seems to be like 2 wrong ones, making for an overall less dynamic game. Good news, one improvement is the melee combat. It's way better now. The dodge and block buttons actually work this time. You can jump over enemies too, so fighting giant hunters doesn't make you suicidal this time. Bad news, though, they overhauled how the powers work, and it's not for the better. The point system is just completely gone now, and instead for the main powers, you unlock them through the story, and instead of selecting one power at a time with its own unique arsenal of moves, you instead select 2, but they're mapped to one button, either X or Y, which might on the surface sound better, and in general, yeah, these moves are fucking powerful when you aren't just waiting to unlock them, that is. You could get most, if not all, your core powers in the first couple of hours of the first game. In the second game, though, you're waiting till damn near like 2/3 into the thing. The game will hold your hand with what powers you can and can't have, defeating the point of Prototype being this kind of chaotic, open world, do whatever the fuck you want sandbox. You can no longer upgrade your character how you want him to be upgraded. In fact, in a Prototype 2, with the point system gone, you can't upgrade your powers at all like you used to. You instead either do side missions to upgrade specific powers, or you get XP to get 1 skill point to spend in a completely different skill tree. Yeah, there are multiple skill trees in this game. It's a fucking UI mess, and just tosses out that experimentation from the first game. Good news, hijacking vehicles has been improved, because you get multiple choices when you actually land on a vehicle. Whether you want to hijack it, just finish everyone off, or tear out the vehicle's weapon and use it for yourself. The problem, though, is that, you can't hijack helicopters or tanks until the story tells you that you can. Now, to be fair, the first game did also do that, but that's the thing. I already learned how to drive helicopters and tanks in the first game. So in the sequel, I'm just retreading old ground again, pretty much. On top of that, you learn to hijack helicopters like 3.5 hours roughly in a Prototype 1, while in 2 it takes around 7 or 8. Jesus Christ. So more control over the pacing doesn't really mean a better pacing in this case, when it takes like 8 hours to pilot a goddamn helicopter. I also do not like the changes made to parkour and movement in the game. You can no longer hang on walls anymore, which is very weird. Why? So if you want to catch your breath on the side of a building for a minute, you can't. You're running up or down, motherfucker. Furthermore, in Prototype 1, when you jumped, the way it worked was that when you held down the A button, you could charge your jump, and letting go would naturally launch you. In a Prototype 2, however, that's not really how that works, because the moment you press the A button, James is jumping. How high you jump is still based on how long you hold it, but this time James is already in the air, which just feels awkward to me. I don't like that change at all. And mission-wise, they somehow still haven't learned their lesson. The story missions do feel less aimless overall, but they're also really linear this time, and they all kind of blend together. They are generally less frustrating, I'll give them that, but why is there still no freedom in an open-world sandbox game on how to approach these missions? It's crazy. And meanwhile, the open world is split into 3 separate zones. So instead of getting a seamless open-world sandbox, you get this Skate 3-ified thing. Just give me one big seamless open world, damn it, not 3 mini ones. Now, I do want to be clear, Prototype 2 is not a bad game at all. It's still fun, and there's still that brutal, loud, violent sense of destruction, and just overall blowing shit up. That's gonna be fun either way. And I do kind of get why some of the moveset was changed. James Heller is not as agile as Alex Mercer. He's a brute force kind of guy. I get that. But does he have to be mechanically less deep as a result? Again, the attempts to streamline Prototype 2 were not the right decisions, resulting in a fine but ultimately disappointing experience. If only Radical weren't rushed to make this game off the bones of a dead project. But actually though, considering that, Prototype 2 is very impressive on that level, because it's still a well-polished open-world superhero game. It's just not as fun as the first game, with multiple decisions I'm not a fan of at all. It's a very weird game, but ultimately, I am happy this game does exist somewhere, because there is a reality where it didn't and got canned altogether, which is what happened immediately afterwards. Yeah, sadly, Radical was shut down right after this game came out. Prototype 2, unfortunately, didn't meet Activision's sales sales expectations. Uh-oh. And as a result, Radical was no longer allowed to make any new games. It's actually really depressing. A once beloved and talented studio just gone like that? All because one single game didn't meet the expectations of Bobby Kotick. I just don't get it, man. It's a pretty sad ending, but at the very least, Radical was here. And so was a Prototype, although it's a shame it isn't anymore, and that leads to my main point. Prototype, and both its amazing traits and its faults, was a whole-ass universe. With gameplay you still can't really get anywhere else, and a narrative that... Okay, the narrative kind of sucks, but I kind of respect and love it at the same time. Like, it's so blatantly like a Shadow the Hedgehog edgy, but with how violent and brutal the game is, it kind of works actually. But now it's just completely gone. I mean, you don't make action figures and tie-in comic books just so you can slaughter the whole franchise and studio soon afterwards. The last Prototype thing, in fact, was a shitty Xbox One and PS4 port, but after that, the world and stories of Alex Mercer and James Heller just died. Now that said, there have been some weird movements with Prototype, because recently the PC versions, which are piles of shit by the way, randomly got around 200 megabyte patches that didn't actually do anything, except for credit to Iron Galaxy and Ubisoft Connect for some reason. Ubisoft Connect, of course, being Ubisoft's digital storefront on PC, except neither game is on Ubisoft Connect. Although to be fair, neither is any game not made by Ubisoft. Oh god, Ubisoft somehow got the Prototype rights, didn't they? Oh no. Iron Galaxy, meanwhile, the developers of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 remake, they've never been involved with Prototype, ever. So what are they doing here exactly? Is this a clue for the future, or just a red herring of some kind? Who knows what will happen at this point, man. Point is, even with all their flaws in place, Prototype truly was something special. And so were Radical Entertainment, and I think both deserve a second chance. Of course, with the latter, it's pretty much impossible at that point, but a Prototype could still come back through somebody else. Hopefully it does come back and isn't a shitty revival or anything, because there is so much potential with this franchise, and there's again nothing else truly like it. No other superhero franchise quite gets open world ultra violence like this one did. My point is, make a Prototype 3, you fucking cowards.
Fuck you in the lane you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch. Nah, throw that shit in fifth. Rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star. I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds. I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat, lay back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah. And we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Hey, I'm with a dark-skinned girl on a Sunday. That's that Black Sabbath. She put them ones all down on a Hyundai, and she had to have it. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.
Do you remember the song November nights when I stared into your eyes and promised it would be alright? Do you remember the time that we first met, all the secrets we kept? Those nights we'll never forget.
I miss you, Juice WRLD. I miss you, XXX Tentacion. You made the world so bright. Now it's time to say goodbye.